Hello, 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 hello. It is Friday, and I goofed. How did I goof? I goofed big. Very big goof. Very big goof. So I have this nice little system, and the whole system relies on the fact of timing. And when you forget your timings, one, you forget to turn the mic on, or the overhead camera on. So let's turn that on. So when it's like, okay, turn this on and then come out a couple hours later. Basically, if you forget to turn your heaters on, you end up having a pretty chilly stream. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. When you forget to turn your heaters on, they don't heat. It's a fun fact of nature. And we'll be dispelling wisdom like that throughout the stream today. Today is a stream of wisdom. 1 screw, 2 screw, 3 screw. Yep, we're gonna be doing screw counting today. Actually, ooh, 1 second. Let me grab something quick. Let me grab one thing quick. One thing quick. One thing quick. Walk and talk. Hello, puppy. What do you want? There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, normally how my whole procedure works is I come out a couple hours before the stream goes live and I turn a heater on and it warms my garage up to a nice warm temperature instead of just being like 10 degrees, right? I normally keep it on low, so it keeps the garage at around, depending how cold it is outside, between 5 and 10 Celsius, and then a couple hours before the stream goes live, I come out, I turn it on high, and it heats up the garage to almost 20. And then it works pretty good. It works really good. Problem is, little guy got sick at school today, so I had to go pick him up at school. And going to pick him up at school, I just forgot to come out and start the heater out here. So, yeah. Also, in case you haven't noticed, yeah, the timer would work if I had a full regular schedule, but we're doing a late stream today, so. Andrew Rogers, $10 for the Friday fund. So what are we doing today? What are we doing today? A couple things. One, we have to finish up these tool heads. They're almost done. We just got to do some cable management, make them look all pretty and not like wire everywhere abortions. And then after that, we are going to be doing the annual tradition. We usually do it once, maybe twice a year. We do the annual tradition of the screw sorting stream. Why? Because I have boxes of leftover screws from kit builds, or in this case, these are all from this stealth changer build. And it just gets annoying. So what I ended up doing is I just break everything down and I put them all in my little acro bins. So we're gonna be doing that today. And then also, if we get to it, we might do some faffing around with the big guy. If not, we'll do that tomorrow on the stream. The holidays are coming up. So I know viewership and scheduling is gonna be a mess. I'm gonna try and do some streams, more extra streams between now and the end of the year, because I know a lot of people have some extra time off, but they're just gonna be kind of hangout streams kind of things. How's the takeoff tool head? Takeoff tool head's working great. Delicious. The dragon fruit punch is pretty good. Okay, so first things first, every stream we give away a spool of polymaker filament. Link in the video description. Go enter for your chance, link below. While you're down there, don't forget to like the smash button, ring the bell, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and if you want to help support the channel, the content I create, and the things I do, consider becoming a channel member, Patreon supporter, or if you're really cool, gifting memberships to others. We will be doing the member stream either Sunday or Monday. Okay, I know we're going to do it this week, but I was doing some Christmas errand shopping and I didn't have the time. So either Sunday or Monday, we'll be doing the channel member stream. So if you're a channel member or Patreon supporter, or if somebody gifts you one, either Sunday or Monday, we'll be doing a stream just for the supporters of the channel. We might be building a bench because I have to build a workbench for the other side of the garage so I can put the CNCs on it properly so that I can then build a paint booth on the other side of the garage. So we got to do all that. So yeah. Ball. Cheers, become a channel member. So these are for the stealth changer. That's why we have 4 near exactly the same tool heads. Here, this is for a stealth changer build that we are currently doing. We got it all built last stream, but we do have to do a little bit of organizing because as you can see, this is a mess. We got to make this look not like a mess. Andy Miller gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers and appreciated. So we got our zippy ties. We got the Christmas music playing. And yeah, we're going to get going on this. You did your first Hue Forge. Nice. I'm kind of disappointed that how do I wear this? I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I don't do a lot of Hue Forges. They are really cool. The problem is, like, I do stuff that I use. And outside of a couple Hue Forges, when I did Hue Forges, I did all the stuff that I wanted to do, and then I haven't touched it since. What's the temp in the garage? 14.1 Celsius. I might be getting my coat. My feetsies are a little on the chilly side. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I will say the 3D printed shoes are a nice isolation, but because they're 3D printed, air moves through them. So while they do provide lots of comfort, they're not exactly the warmest. Okay. It is what it is. So we got that. Where can we, you know what, you can go up here. We'll just zip tie you on there. And then you guys can be zip tied on that. Yeah. Is everyone all ready for Christmas? I have to get some cards. I forgot to get some cards. Well, I didn't forget. It's just when I went out to get cards, the cards for some people that I need to get cards for, the card store didn't have them. Also, I'm going to do a rant. How the hell are we okay with $15 cards? Like, I went to the Hallmark store to get some Christmas cards. Usually, by the way, there's no shame in going to the dollar store to get Christmas cards and birthday cards and whatnot. The problem is, if you're trying to find a specific card for like Nana, good luck finding that at the dollar store. You find generic cards. So yeah, save where you can. But when you're trying to find like a Nana card and you go to the Hallmark, they have like one and it's $12.99 Canadian for a piece of cardboard. Like there's no there's no electronics in it. It's not even a pop-up card. They don't even make it. You know how they do them now? They just have the card and then they just have a piece of paper in the card with the stuff printed on it. It's like the cheapest, like, how are we okay with that? How are we okay with that? I mean, do Hallmark movies cost that much to make that they got to be gouging us on cards? These are my cards this year. But is it pretty cardboard? No! It's just regular old-fashioned freaking cardboard. Ain't nothing special to it. So yeah, I don't get it. I don't get how we've just kind of, as a society, we've accepted, yeah, you know, I went to the Hallmark store, I bought 3 cards, and I walked out $40 lighter. It's like, what the hell? Like, how is that? I mean, good for them for making bank, right? Can't fault somebody for making bank. It is what it is, but still, it's like, oh my god. Okay, whatever. Is what it is. Yeah, it's stupid how much cards are. Like, I could see if you were like, they were really fancy or whatever, but they're all mass produced. You know it costs them pennies to make. Okay. There we go. Does that look pretty good? Does that look pretty good? Yeah, that should be pretty good. Okay, one tool head done. And what I should do is have them all kind of reference that one so they all look the same. $10 in the US. I know, because when you buy the card, they have the Canadian and the American price on the back. It was funny when I was getting my card. Some poor guy, he is foreign, right? So I don't think he understood the difference between the pricing. So he bought it, and he's like, why is it this much? And she's like, because that's the price. She's like, yeah, but this is the price. Yeah, but that's the American price. That we're in Canada. Well, why would you put 2 prices? I want the lower price. Yeah, that's not how it works. And like, I'm wondering if it was like a language barrier or something, but like the poor guy's like, why would you? I want the lower price. You have 2 prices. Put the lower price. Because I think he thought it was like, you know, if you accidentally label something, you go to the lowest price. But like this was printed on the card, so you couldn't do that argument. And like the guy was not having it. And I'm like, I just wanted to be like, buddy, I understand your frustration, but you're holding the line up. Hurry up. Either pay or don't pay. I got stuff to do. But yeah, it was yeah. Like I understand. I pulled my old customer service trick of I understand your frustration, but I got other stuff to do. And I'm in a mall like a couple days before Christmas, and I have a kid with me. Hurry up. 3D print one with the TPU hinge. I think I've done a 3D printed card before. I'm trying to remember what for, but I have done them before. I did laser for my mom for Mother's Day. I went to the dollar store, or not dollar store, I went to like Walmart and I bought like a really cheap picture frame. Like the frame itself looked fine, but it's just like a Walmart picture frame. And then I lasered on like Happy Mother's Day Nana or something like that. And then I put a picture of the little guy in it and whatnot. So like if you have lasers and 3D printers, there is a lot of ways you can customize and make personalized stuff. Very low low energy, or not low energy, but like low barrier to entry. Black Lotus is like 2K. I'm pretty sure a Black Lotus is way more than 2,000. I'm pretty sure like a legit Black Lotus. Well, okay, it depends which Black Lotus, right? Like the Alpha Black Lotus is like a couple mil, isn't it? Like I don't think they're that cheap. And then what else? What else is going on? Going to see Avatar tomorrow. Like second movie I've seen in years. Literally, in terms of movies that I've seen over the past like couple of years, it's like I don't see movies anymore. I don't go to movie theaters anymore. It's like all the fun of movie theaters has kind of died off, I think. Might get that way. Oh wait, is this one not locking? Oh, the stupid one's not locking, that's why. Yeah, that'll do it. Only go to IMAX. We don't have IMAX near me. I have a pretty decent, like, somewhat independent local cinema near me that I go to, but they don't have IMAX. So I am going to see it in 3D, but it's on like a normal screen. It's not IMAX or anything. Luxury reclining seats though, so I got that going for me, which is nice. Was Demon Slayer Infinite? Oh, anime. I have not watched Demon Slayer. I've heard it's pretty good, but I have not watched it. I'm looking forward to Free Run though. I'm looking forward to season 2 of Free Run. That I'm looking forward to. Should watch it. Well, I got to catch up. It's not like a One Piece thing, right? It's not like a One Piece thing where I got to watch like 50,000 episodes to get caught up. It's not like that, right? I have the Chainsaw Man movie. I got to watch that. I'm going to watch it with the wifey because we watched the first season together. I'm trying to remember if we watched the sub or the dub, though. I can't remember. trying to remember if Chainsaw Man is one of the ones with a good dub. And then what else? Pluribus last night was really good. We're finally getting like stuff revealed. Answering questions. Plot's progressing really good. Although it's going to really suck now that, you know, there's 1 week left until episode 9, and then we're waiting like a year and a half for season 2, which sucks. That's one of the downsides of movies or shows having such short seasons now. It's like you burn, like it used to be like back in my day, you had 24 episodes for a season, and then the summer off, and then the season would begin. So the show would go from like September to April, and then you would have, you know, and it would just, but now it's like the show is like 2 months, and then you got to wait a year and a half, and you're like, ugh. Oh yeah, season 2 of Fallout started. Big Iron. They started with Big Iron. The moment Big Iron started playing, I was like, oh, Fallout New Vegas fans are going to be eating good. Yeah, the moment they started playing Big Iron, I'm like, oh yeah. And it's going to be interesting because for those that don't know, the Fallout shows, all of Fallout is one canon. So the shows take place, it's not like the shitty Halo show where they made their own universe and everything. The Fallout show takes place in the Fallout universe, and it's part of the lore. So like it's like part of the continuity. So it'll be very interesting to see how I think going off of some stuff they've shown and hinted at in the first episode, I think we figure out how Mr. House is still around, because there's a few options for endings for Fallout New Vegas where Mr. House is no longer around. Actually, I think in all but one option he's not around. So it's like, how do you canonize a game that had 4 different endings? And it's funny, because if you think about it, this isn't a first for Bethesda. They've done it before. In Elder Scrolls, I think it's Daggerfall. So yes, I know Fallout wasn't originally a Bethesda property, but it's been a Bethesda property for more years than it hasn't. So it's a Bethesda property now. So in Daggerfall, in Elder Scrolls Daggerfall, which I think is the second one, there is like a couple endings for how the game ends. And then in Morrowind, you know, the next game, how do we canonize one of the endings? Well, all endings happened. Magical timey-wimey, Dragon Break or whatever. All endings happened at the same time. And then everything kind of merged back together. And it's like, oh, okay. Fallout lost all my interest within the last episode. What? How did it lose your interest? How did it lose your interest? I like the last episode of the season. Hey, force continuity resets. It doesn't really... What continuity? What continuity reset? How's it going? Good. We're just doing some cable management on some tool heads, and then we're moving into a nice relaxing Friday screw sorting stream. The holidays are coming up. People are doing stuff. We got to print a bunch of stuff for the build, so we're just having a pretty chill stream today. Pretty chill stream. So this is primo second monitor content day. Using a Jabberwocky tool head on the Micron instead of an ant head. Been using one on the for now. Use whatever tool head you like the most. They all are basically just things that hold fans in the hot end. So whatever tool head you like the most is the tool head you use, in my opinion. The Fallout game series has some history of picking a path to. Fallout 2 had canonized one of the ending. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Zero, cheers for the 2 quid. Or sorry, 2 euro. 2 eddies. Got some eddies in chat here. Witcher 3 game have something in the beginning to help make the events. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, a lot of games have that. Like Mass Effect, for example. Mass Effect, you know, at the very end, it comes down to red, green, or blue. There's some sort of, you kind of have to roll with it. Where it's like, oh, you made a decision. Well, in between the games, your decision really turns out your decision didn't matter. Go. At the end of the day, it's a video game. It's entertainment. It's like funny. It's funny. So I've been playing Cyberpunk, right? I finally beat it. I'm working on a second playthrough now where I actually do like the DLC and like the actual side quests and everything, right? So I'm doing a second playthrough where I actually focus on the side stuff. And it is funny because I've been watching a couple videos from a couple different creators about it where they're like, this doesn't make sense or whatever. And it's like, it really sucks that Cyberpunk is better if you know the lore because it explains so many of the problems with the stock setup. And it's like, if you know the lore behind the game and some of like the stuff that's not really explained well in the game, it makes the game so much better. But the fact that it's not really easily explained in the game and you have to like figure it out is kind of like a detriment to it. The game really needed more time in the oven. And yeah, they fixed it gameplay wise after release, but they're still like, the game needed a little, it needed like some sort of like Larian type interactivity with the world. There we go. 4 tool heads. All nice and wired up. Everything looking pretty. Sweet. There we go there. So we can put these aside for now. And then we are going to start doing screw sorting. The most fun thing to do in the world. Played Fallout, so I'm enjoying the ride. I'm not a huge. That's canon. Yeah. And that's fair. I like it. It's like Star Wars. For me, it's like Star Wars. I love the setting of Star Wars. I love the universe of Star Wars. It's a very fun universe because, fun fact, Star Wars isn't sci-fi. It's sci-fan. It's fantasy. It just happens to be in space, right? So it's a fantasy setting, not a science fiction setting. I will argue that. I love the setting of Star Wars. I love the world of Star Wars. But like a lot of the content that's been coming out of the Star Wars universe lately has been very bleh. Whereas I'm like, give me some KOTOR stuff. Give me like Battlefront. Give me like Republic Commando. Like give me like the meat of the universe. And then you have the recent movies, which are kind of like, eh. Yeah, Star Wars, there's a difference between science fiction and science fantasy. And I think that confuses people. Okay, so I need a box to put these in for now. Prusament box to the rescue. Can I fit all 4 in here? And you can live up here for now. Okay. Okay. Whew, it is cold. Yeah, KOTOR's one. Dude, the fate of the Old Republic being announced. Yes, please. Yes, please. They're finally continuing the Old Republic series. Like, it kind of sucks it's not in the actual line. It's not like KOTOR 3. But I think enough time has passed that it's kind of like, yeah, we kind of have to, like, revisit that universe instead of just continuing where we left off. Is the extremely toxic fandom? It's not that bad, I don't think. I just think some people are a little too heavily invested in it. But that's like all fandoms. All fandoms have that problem. We're just, some people are just way overly invested. You're just like way overly invested. It's like, guys, chill. It's Star Wars. It's Star Wars. It's something some guy coked up on fun 60s drugs came up with. I don't know. Well, Disney has a lot of problems. Apparently, like the trailer for Doomsday leaked, and it's like, seriously, guys, like this is the angle you're going with. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to spoil it for some people, so please don't. But the whole Doomsday thing screams like, hey, you know, everything we've done since we wrapped up the Thanos arc sucked, and I know how we put a nice little bow on everything and like wrapped up a lot of characters' plot lines in very satisfying ways, and it looked like we would never touch him again. Guess what? We're dragging him back because we got nothing. And it's like, damn it, really? And now I base myself net worth 3D printer brands, right? Did you see Prusa came out with their new license? Prusa now has a new open source license they're developing, the open source community license. Because for those that don't know, a lot of the licenses that we use in additive manufacturing for like hardware are actually software license. Like the GPL is a software license. So there's a lot of issues you have when you have hardware using a software license, and also where it's like a gray area of commercialization. So Prusa is now releasing stuff under their new license, which is the open source open community license, the new open community license. So you can now download the actual CAD files for it, and some people are already having fun with it, where Heart K is already working on a mini core one because fuck it, why not? I don't think he's actually working on it. I think this is just a fun little thought experiment type thing, but like these were released relatively recently and people have already started faffing with them. So that's cool to see. But with the new license, you can download, inspect, and learn from the step files and Fusion assemblies, modify them, share with your, you know, make it easier to share mods and whatnot, use modified or unmodified design in your workshop, print, farm, or production line, produce spare parts to keep your machines. But it does not allow you to sell complete machines or remixes based on these files unless you have a separate agreement from the owner. So this is one of those things where it's like, previously the licenses were like, you aren't allowed to do anything with it, or you're allowed to do everything. Like, for example, Voron is released under the open source GPL v3 license, right? So what that means is you could theoretically, there is absolutely nothing from stopping you from opening up a store called Tim's Vorons and selling Vorons, building and selling Voron kits and modifying Voron kits. There is absolutely nothing stopping you from selling Vorons, okay? Anyone can make and sell Voron kits, as we've seen, okay? But Voron is a completely open source nonprofit project. We don't care if you sell a Voron kit and make money. It doesn't affect the Voron team in any way. We don't like it when people use Voron for marketing reasons, cough, cough, Soval, but they corrected it, so they're not doing it anymore. So, like, you're allowed to do that. But the problem is, what do you do when you're a company like Prusa, where, you know, Joe's got 1,000+ employees that their paycheck depended on him, right? What do you do in that situation? Well, you can't really use those licenses that allow people to just sell your stuff, because what happens, you go on AliExpress and you can find one-to-one kits of Prusa Mark IIIs and Mark IVs and whatnot. So, like, how do you get around that? Well, they have their new license. So this is kind of like a license for commercial companies to allow people to still mod and tweak and modify and do fun stuff with their printers that they purchased, but it stops them from being able to basically directly profit off of their work. So this is actually something they've been working on for a while. I've known about this for a little bit, but now it's public. So yeah. So if you want to read it all, I'll link it down. I'll link it in chat here if you want to take a gander at it. But I think it's really cool. I've seen a few people trying to start shit about it because it's not really open source, because they don't give away everything. And I'm like, whatever. It's the same people that complain about everything. So I'm kind of like, whatever. But for me, like somebody in my position and people I talk to, most people seem to think this is a really good idea, because it basically gives you a option for like, hey, we are a company, because this, you can use this license. I'm pretty sure this license is now a thing. So if you are starting your own company, you can do this, because like, hey, I have this idea for a 3D printer I want to design and sell, but I'm afraid of, you know, insert Asian market company here that doesn't care, from just ripping my shit off and making a profit off of it. Now there's a license where it's like, hey, if you want to, you know, rip my shit off, you have to have a commercial agreement with me to do that. But it doesn't stop little Timmy from making mods of the fan shroud and putting them on Thingiverse. So it's kind of nice. They're supporting Sousaphone. Which one's Sousaphone? Oh yeah, the Lucky 13. This isn't hypothetical. Yeah. So poor old Lucky 13, like this is, you know, a Chinese patent off of, you know, they're basically patenting stuff Warren has done. And then you have Sousaphone, the creator of Lucky 13 and the Dummy 13s. They have some, you know, malicious intent, or malicious actor is filed a patent for the Dummy 13 and is demanding license fees. Like it's, and unfortunately, it's usually coming from one region. It is what it is, but it's bullshit. So it's kind of like either you leave the door open and everyone steals everything, which makes the hardcore open source people very happy, because there's a group of people that are like, no, fuck you, everything has to be fully open, screw the rules, you have to release it open source. Oh, you're releasing a step file? No, it has to be the original file with all full history. There's people like that. I'm not going to get into it. But it's like, cool, so you want, like, you know, every company to just stop giving away anything or just shut down because of competition, basically eating out their profits from underneath them. It's different when you have mouths the feed. I'm sorry. Everything's different the moment you have mouths the feed. But I think this is a step in the right direction. Like, I still remember somebody got really angry at the Voron team once, and they opened like mod threads, and like they did some stuff that I'm not going to share publicly, but it's like, because we released the Voron files without history, and they're like, you can't just release a step file, it has to be the original source. And it's like, there is no original source. What do you mean? Well, it's because we have like people on the team use different software to CAD. So like one guy will CAD something in Fusion, export the step, then another guy will work on it in SolidWorks, export the step, so we just have step files. That's how it works. And it's like, okay. But yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction. It's good to see. The whole Dummy 13 thing is complete bullshit, because one guy did all the work on this, and some other malicious actor basically said, F this, I'm just gonna, you know, because I have access to money, I'm just gonna patent it before you do. Oh, you're an open source developer. You just design it, you put it on the internet, you have fun. But now somebody, you know, patents it, claims they created it, and is now extorting people for money. off of your thing. So it really sucks, but it's like either you kind of band together. It's the, I'm not going to say it's the lesser of two evils, this kind of, you know, not going hardcore fully open, but it is the extremely much less evil of two evils. Put it that way. It's like, it's not perfect world. We are not in the perfect world situation. But considering the alternatives, it's still a damn good option, in my opinion. So that is my little thing on that. I am not a lawyer, and I don't do CAD work and distribute files, so it's not really something I'm one-to-one invested in. But it's definitely something that I know is impacting some people very hard right now. Like it is a big impact for some people. So it is definitely one of those things. Okay. Browsing to find a place to learn. Well, what do you want to learn about? These streams are more just yap and build stuff. So we kind of, whatever comes up, comes up. And today we're doing a screw sorting stream. So we're definitely whatever comes up, comes up. Copyright for certain designs I've done. Yep. Voron is technically a company now because we've had to become a company because somebody tried to trademark the name and it's all kinds of bullshit. It's like, oh yeah, it's so much fun spending money we'd rather spend on, you know, booths at events and donating to charities and events. It's so much fun spending that on lawyers. System is broken. Yep. And it doesn't help when regionally stances on patents are different, right? Like what we look at for patents is different, like, you know, in different countries. So it's kind of like, it sucks. Use on the arms of the Delta Flyer. I just use Gorilla Glue. You want to use like an epoxy or something that is relatively thick because you need it to make sure you fill the gap, and it's got to be strong. So something like a 2-part epoxy. I used Gorilla Glue and it worked fine. So, oh, M2.5s. Put you over there. So we'll put the funky size stuff over there, like the magnets. Incentives. Well, in like China, for example, you are incentivized to patent stuff. If your company patents something and has patents, it's basically like it's like company level dick measuring contest. The more patents your company has, the easier it is for you to get government funding and get investments. So you are incentivized to patent everything under the sun. So what happens is you basically just look for stuff that exists that has nice documentation for it, and just nobody's bothered to patent it in China yet because, you know, there's a couple guys designing a printer in a basement in you know, California, and all of a sudden, oh, hey, Voron's patented in China and trademarked in China because some company just yoinked it. And, you know, how are you going to compete against that? But now that company now has a bunch of patents under their list. That's the kind of the shitty thing. That's what you're up against. Ooh, grease. So it kind of sucks. But it is what it is. Yep, in China you can't basically file a complaint or do anything unless you're a Chinese citizen or you have a Chinese company representing you. So, yeah. Anyone use a Nighthawk stealth burner on a non-stealth burner toolhead? I have not because of form factor. Printopia. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Printopia next year. It'll be interesting on the venue. See how the venue fares. because they're moving venues this year because they don't, or next year because they don't have room in the current venue anymore. So cool. After going through, I think patents do have a reason to exist. Like, don't get me wrong. If your company, like, I'm not against patents. If your company spends years developing something that is unique and it's you know, new, I believe you do have some sort of right to defend it and be like the sole proprietor of that thing for a while. But is it, the patent terms are too long and we should be looking at, you know, shorter terms for patents? Maybe. Or some sort of forced licensing where it's like you have to license it based on some sort of criteria where it's like you can't just hoard it. It's like within, you have to have like a reasonable agreement, like some company can make a reasonable agreement where it's like, no, you can't just patent something and sit on it and troll people with it. You have to use, or some sort of use it or lose it as well clause would be kind of nice to see. I hate when I have like a random screw that I've never used before. Like M314s. I don't have a thing for M314s. It kind of sucks. But remember, we're dealing with like systems that were put in place hundreds of years ago, right? How old is the American patent system? And we're still dealing with it. Yeah, copyright is insane. Like, I kind of get copyright, but still, it's in, well, that's all because of Mickey Mouse. Remember, all the copyright stuff is because of Mickey Mouse, right? Haha, we can't have you going to the public domain. Haha. That was a horrible, I think that's the worst Mickey Mouse impression anyone has ever done. Oh, that's M2.5. M3.6. DMCA. If I got DMCA'd for that, I'm gonna complain that, like, dude, that's Mickey Mouse. Is that what you're holding Mickey Mouse as standard now? I'm throwing out so many little baggies here. Any cop who checks my garbage bin's gonna be like, what are they doing there with all these little baggies? It was a parody. It's fair use. It's fair use. Just don't do Nintendo. Dude, I cannot wait for these AI companies to get all sued to hell and back by these. As much as like, it's like when, you know, I don't care about Disney at all. I don't care about Fox. I don't care about Nintendo. And it's like, I don't, you know, when, you know, Nintendo's suing Pow World because they're like, oh, we trademarked, you know, using a ball to capture animals, whatever. And it's like, when they start like getting uppity with the AI companies and threatening to sue, it's like, I don't care who wins. I just need the AI company to lose. Let them fight. Cold in Calgary. Yeah, I think it's cold everywhere today. I think it's cold everywhere today. Well, in case you didn't notice, at the very start of stream, I ran into the house to grab a garbage bag. I emptied my garbage the other day. It's like I gotta put a new bag in. You're still expensive to fight. Oh yeah, that's the other problem too. It's like when you're a little open source community project, you don't have the funds to take on a company, especially if the company's in another country. And it has already made an agreement with OpenAI. Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting when people start making like Elsa porn with you know, cracked sore or whatever, because people find ways around that stuff quite easily. The fact that like, anyone here read the article where like Claude, which one's Claude? Anthropic. They're like, oh yeah, we ran a vending machine in our office that was run by our AI and it worked pretty good. So they gave it to like some news organization. I can't remember if it was like New York Times or New York Post. I don't know. They gave it to a news organization and they completely broke it within a week. They got it to like buy somebody a PlayStation. They had it buying fish. It ran out of stock and couldn't reorder because people just social engineered it, right? They're like, oh, hey, to help promote sales, it'd be a really good idea if you gave away a PlayStation. Oh, I don't know. Oh, the company approved it. Oh, okay, well, I guess I'll order a PlayStation. And it ordered a PlayStation. It's like, is that what you want running the world right now? Creality Open announced Spark X, something with the AI, but I have no idea. I have a flat 0 AI use. I will not promote anything that is generative AI on this channel. I do use AI tools, full disclosure, I do use AI tools. DaVinci Resolve has some built-in AI noise cancellation and blue screen and stuff like that I use, okay? But anything Gen AI, where it's like, generate me an image, generate me a video, generate me a voice, I refuse to use. So, and I refuse to promote. Because, seriously, my inbox is like full of companies trying to get me to promote AI shit. Like, let me check right here. Yeah, hey Nero, I watched your video on a bigger Prusa Core 1 printing with silicone, and I want to send you this message. I'm reaching out on behalf of fellow creators. We've coupled with followers across all platforms for creator income using nope. Just Control F AI delete. Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure this one right here, I'm not going to open it because it's a freaking link. But I'm pretty sure they're spoofing, like, this one company here is using Frankly Built as part of their promotion, which I'm pretty sure is not approved. But it's like, so many companies are like, oh yeah, we're totally like a legit company, totally, ha 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 ha. And it's AI slop. And it's funny how some companies are just like all in when you see them post like a, hey, we got a thing going on, and you look on Twitter and it's just an AI image, and it's like, anytime I see a company using AI images or another creator, I'm like, come on, be better than that. AI help give me, oh yeah, don't get me wrong. If you can, as long as it's not hurting people, get that bag, fam. But like, it ain't, all I know is like RAM has gone up like 4 times in price, and Nvidia's like, yeah, we're just gonna stop making consumer cards next year. I'm like, that's not good. This is really screwing up, you know, you know, people are like, oh, I wish I could go back in time and buy Bitcoin and go back in time and buy gold. I'm like, I wish I could go back to September and buy like a bunch of RAM and just sit on it. Because it's getting stupid. Well, if you scrap 7 pounds of RAM, I'm assuming it was not the RAM people use. Like if it's like DDR3 RAM that you scrapped, nobody's using DDR3 anymore. Like, oh, I have an i5 2500K system in a closet I could use it with. But that's about it. Like my main desktop has 64 gigs of DDR4, and I got that a couple years ago, and it's like, yeah, I am sticking with this forever. Because apparently, like, AMD could just not kill the AM4 platform. Because I guess, like, the 5800 X3D has gone up to, like, $800 because because DDR5 prices are so high, people are either buying or building or staying on their AM4 platform machines and just upgrading them. So like people are trying to find the best AM4 chips and whatnot, and it's like, yeah, prices never go down. Well, to be fair, the RAM prices were pretty good for a while there because during the initial COVID supply shortage, people overproduced and then demand crashed, and then they had a glut of production. So prices for RAM were pretty good for a couple years. But now with the AI coming up, it's basically gobbled up all the production because everyone stopped producing and now they have to produce again. So hopefully when the bubble pops again, we'll get another glut of supply glut, hopefully. But we'll see. We'll see. CPU and DR forming a new build once again. Yeah, like my main desktop is a 5800X. It's not an X3D, but it's a 5800X, 64 gigs of RAM, and a 3090. And it does everything I need it to do. It does everything I need it to do. Would it be nicer if it was like, you know, a slightly better processor and a 5080? Oh yeah, sure. But I don't need that. I mean, I ran an i5 2500K for 10 years as my main desktop, so. 9900X got 64 gigs for 300. 4 days later, it was 600. Yep. Well, it's like last year when I built my my Framework 13 laptop, I bought 32 gigs of RAM for it, like just two 16 gig sticks, and it was like $100, 120 bucks, because DDR5 Crucial RAM. And now it's like 400 something. DDR5 laptop. It's not even in stock. But I paid $120 for this kit a year ago, and now it's $489. So. DDR3. It depends what you're using your computer for too. Unless you are playing like video games, you don't really need it's surprising what you can get away with on a computer if you're not playing video games. Like if you're not trying to run Cyberpunk, or if you only play like a couple low-end esports games, or you're just like RuneScape, you don't really need a lot in a modern computer. Let's be honest. Like if it's a quad core from the past 10 years that wasn't like a budget entry-level quad core, 16 gigs of RAM and a video card, outside of gaming, it does everything, right? If you're just using your computer for browsing the web, chatting with people, basic stuff, you're fine. It's once it's like, oh, I need to do 3D modeling and video editing, and then, oh, I want to play Cyberpunk on psycho settings. Okay, then yeah, you should probably start looking at upgrades. Thoughts on the Mac Mini? From my understanding, the new Mac Minis, especially like the M4 ones, are very solid machines. It's just you can't upgrade them. So, I mean, Apple RAM prices are actually reasonable right now, which is something I thought I'd never say, but they're reasonable compared to everything else. So you got that going for you, which is nice. But it sucks, like you buy an M4 Mac and you buy it with however much RAM you get it, you can't upgrade the RAM. I think you can upgrade the storage, but you have to buy like a special Mac SSD, which is stupid, but it is what it is. And obviously no video card. So gaming on a Mac is not something I would say you can do. Yeah, some Macs can run some games. They don't run them great, and you're kind of very limited on what games actually run. So don't be buying a Mac if you plan on gaming. It's kind of like, oh yeah, my MacBook can kind of play Baldur's Gate when I'm traveling. Okay, that's good, but it's like you're not buying a Mac to game. I have 64 gigabytes DDR5, paid mid 2024, 219. Now it's 950, and that's Euro. Damn. That's a lot of eddies, Choom. That is a lot of eddies. Like, there was a period there where I was actually tempted to try and get a Mac Mini. Just pick up like a used one or whatever for one of the studios instead of running a desktop. But then I'm like, okay, how do I hook up all my cameras? Well, this one has an HDMI capture card. Well, you can't use HDMI capture cards with Macs. You can't. There is no PCI Express. So it's like everything has to be a USB dongle with a Mac. That's the downside of a Mac. It's like, the moment you want to use more than like 2 monitors, or the moment it's like, oh, I want to plug in a capture card, you're kind of SOL'd. Because it's like, oh, well, you can buy this adapter and plug it in. It's like, no, that's stupid. The Venture XL yet? In terms of tweaking it, no, we're gonna do that tomorrow night. I'm gonna do that tomorrow night on the stream. It's been really cold in the garage. It's been really cold and I've been doing prepping stuff for holidays. Also, my furnace is like dead. So I have a guy coming. It sucks because, you know, it died during the holidays. So that really sucks. But I have a guy coming Monday to give us a quote. Well, I've already got the quote, but it's like to finalize the quote. So you gotta pay for a furnace. So if you want to help support the channel, the content I create and the things I do, consider becoming a channel member, Patreon supporter, or if you're really cool, gifting memberships to others, because furnaces ain't cheap. So that's always fun. Mac Pro has entered the chat. Yeah, the Mac Pro has entered the chat very expensively and still pretty limited. If you're spending that much on a Mac Pro and it's still like majority of it is unupgradable, is like, what the heck? I think you can upgrade the RAM on it. Can you upgrade the RAM on a Mac Pro? Or is it still soldered on? Rexit gifted a community membership. Andrew Rogers gifted 5 community memberships. Sam for the $10 for the furnace fund. Cheers. Yeah, we're gonna try and do the Lee Smith 5 community memberships. Cheers. We're gonna try the good old fashioned. If we pay cash, can we scrape a little off the top there? If we pay cash, can we do a little something here? Can we come to an agreement here? Oh yeah, the Apple, like Moonshine, the Apple ecosystem is really nice. Like I do like how tied in the entire ecosystem is, but I think that only works if you are okay with being fully tied in the ecosystem. Like I don't have an iPhone. I don't have any, the only Apple device I've ever owned was, I had an iPad or an iPod mini at one point. And I had earbuds, first gen earbuds. But it's like, oh yeah, the earbuds, they won't tell you because you're using them on Android, they can't tell you battery life or like you can't access half the features. It's like, why? Your Framework 13 batches in production. Nice. Did you hopefully purchase it before RAM prices spiked? Because it's still funny, like Framework's like, yeah, most people don't buy our laptops or our desktop with the RAM. They just choose the option to buy it on their own. Lately, everyone's buying the RAM. Cheers, Julian. Sorting the new product. Yeah, it's a Friday. It's really chilly in my garage, and we're just doing a little screw sorting stream. The holidays are coming up. Everyone's kind of in a chill mood, so we're just kind of relaxing and hanging out, yapping, taking it easy. I got to make some room, so we every now and then we get to the screw sorting stream. The screw sorting stream happens when it's like, okay, I got to organize stuff, so we're doing this. Gergman gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers and appreciated. Thank you. Wow, that's a lot of little flatheads. 3/8. AirPod Pros are awesome. Yeah, right now I have a pair of Samsung Galaxy Buds and they work fine. Like, I don't use them a lot. I use them like when I'm cutting the grass and when I'm like traveling, and that's about it. And half the time when I'm traveling, I don't bother because like my travel backpack has a pair of wired earbuds or earphones. And guess what? My laptop and my Steam Deck both have earphone jacks. So I just plug those in and use those because it's like, well, I don't have to worry about a battery ever running out. Okay, so now we have some screws that fell out of a box. So I'm assuming these are 50s. Sixteens. There we go. That is that. So I think what I'm going to do is these are 18s. I think I'm going to swap this from 18 to 14 because I don't really have a lot of 18s. Do I even have 18s? You're 20. And you are not 18s. So swap these over to 18s. Or 14s. So 16. And we'll do 14s. So 1, 2, 2, and 3, 14. And 2, and 2, and 5, 5, 5. Nuts! Washers. 14s. 5, 15. Design and build an AI-powered screw sorter. I don't think you need AI to sort screws. Now, if I was trying to con a bunch of rich people that don't know anything other than buzzwords, then yes, I would design an AI-powered screw sorting machine. But I don't think we're at that point yet. Okay. Marker. Oh yeah, there's 3D printable screw sorters. They do exist. Yeah, 3D printed screw sorters do exist. They do exist. They're just kind of not super common, but they do exist. There's a couple different designs. The thing is, like, I would want one that's like fully automatic. Not the one that like, oh, you could just like, it's a scale. It's like, no, if I had one, I'd want one that's like fully automatic. Right. These are all M2.5. So I even have a thing for M2.5s? I don't. See the shipping notification for the U1? Identify and sort screws. Yeah, but like, okay, so now you have a camera that automatically like looks at screws as they like scroll by, and then you need some sort of arm that automatically picks them up, orientates them, puts them in the correct bin. Or you can just do like it purely mechanically and just let them tumble and fall through whatever hole they fit through. That's how they work. That's how screw sorters work. You don't need AI. Quit trying to shove AI, quit trying to make fetch happen. It's not gonna happen. Yeah. Like what y'all need to do is start subscribing to some like YouTube channels like hardware, what's it called? Hardware restoration, hardware repair. I can't remember what it is. I think he's in like Alberta or something. But basically he repairs old hardware, like old tools and whatnot from like the 1800s and early 1900s. And it's like surprising at like how much you're able to get away with and what you're able to do with just like pulleys, levers, valves, like hand tool rescue. That's the one. Hand tool rescue. That's the one. Awesome YouTube channel. But it's like you have these big complicated machines that do a lot of different things, and it's all just gearing and belts and pulleys and valves, and it's all, you know, pre-electronics, and stuff works. Okay. Okay, so that's all that. So these are all, where did I put this box? So this is the box of M5s. And the reason we have the box of M5s is because we're going to go through that later. So you go there. Your electronic stuff, you go there. Your electronic stuff, so you go there. What's in here? More screws, more electronics, electronics, electronics. Okay. Electronics. Electronics. Get rid of that box. Is that star PTFE? Oh, probably not. I'm very curious to know what the wear rate on that star PTFE is. I really want to know how long that stuff like what the lifespan of the star PTFE is, because it's like, considering how quickly normal PTFE can wear away with certain filaments, going star shaped with the PTFE, yeah, on paper, oh yeah, much less friction, but that also means more wear point. Like those points will get worn down much quicker, and then you're back to just regular PTFE. So. And also, I would love to know what the comparison is between using star PTFE and using 3/4 PTFE as a reverse Bowden. Like, does just having a wider diameter make it better than just a tighter diameter but with like smaller friction points? It's one of those things that's like, on paper it works. It's kind of like, hey, when you run input shaper on a printer, you should always rerun input shaper when you move a printer, right? Because input shaper is harmonics, how the printer vibrates and, you know, reacts to motion and whatnot. So if you have a printer on one desk and you move it to like a shelf, on paper, you should redo input shaper because, you know, the properties of how the printer moves can change, right? Between it being like on the ground versus on like a bench. Every time I've done that, the input shaper results are like margin of error difference. They're like, oh no, MZV went from 44.5 to 44.2 or something. And it's like, yes, technically, according to the numbers, it is better. It is more accurate to do that. But will you actually see a real world noticeable difference? Probably not. So. What are you? You don't belong in there. You're 16, right? Yeah, 16. So. Do, 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 do. That was loud. What was loud? Also, I have a stupid headache right now, and it won't go away, and I don't know why. Okay. So that's all that. Garbage. These are parts for that, so I'm going to need those. Okay, well, that's M5s. Ugh. I cannot believe how cold it is over here. Pumping out heat. I think I gotta clean my, that's getting a little clogged up. Okay, so that's that. So next, we have these kits I gotta sort out. So a couple of kits that I've built over the last little bit came with these little kits of screws. And it's like, I'm gonna break these down and put them into inventory. Or at least some of it. 5. M38. Caffeine withdrawal. I'm drinking actually caffeine-free gamer subs right now because I'm actually out of my caffeine gamer subs. I gotta hit up my rep. these are M312s. Okay, that's it. This is kind of annoying that they're... Oh, wait. I'm about to do a big brain thing. A big brain. So I have all these screws, and unfortunately, I got to move the screws from here to here. So we're gonna just get our handy dandy LTTstore.com screwdriver. Oh yeah. Nope, M12s. Oh yeah. Then these ones are 20s, I think. Oh, we got a mixture here. What are these? Are these 20s or 30s? Those are 30s. That's a 16. 5s. Don't think these are these all M3s? Those are all M3s. Oh, we got a nice little bearing there. How do they work? I don't know. I need my brass magnet though. If anyone knows where the brass magnets are, has a link to them, let me know. I do need to get some. Running low on them. M3, M5, okay. Pretty sure these are all M3. These guys. I think this guy, yep. Yeah, see, I need my brass magnet. If anyone has the brass magnet, I need that. Rather watch me peel the plastic off. Well, Gergman, if you want, I do have some panels that I haven't used that I can peel plastic off of, if you're interested in that. Somehow I have 231 people watching this though, so make sure you like the smash button if you're enjoying this content. And then don't forget, we do have, some sort of incentive for you guys to deal with this. We do have a spool of filament to give away at the end of stream. So enter for your chance, link in the video description. The nice thing about Vorons is it's all the same heat sets, and it's surprising how many companies have kind of adopted the Voron heat set as like the heat set that they use in their design. So it's actually kind of nice. It is kind of nice how standardized we are on that heat set. Hopefully I can peel this off without ruining it. And I can reuse this stupid thing. Dang it, that won't come off. But anyways, I can reuse that as a plano box, so that's good. All right, and now this is the Seabor one. 50. Yep, we're doing a screw sorting stream. Happy fun time adventures. These screws are all over the place, unfortunately. 5s. That's an M4. Magnets. 5, 6. That's an M4 too. What's the occasion? I need to clean up this mess of screws that I have, because it's getting really annoying building the stealth changer when you have 4 different boxes of 4 different sets of screws that are all the same, but they're in 4 different boxes. So it's just like, I'm just condensing everything down to my inventory, and I'm just gonna pull from inventory for the build. Those are M2s. Eight, M10, 5, M5, 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 3s. Yeah, this is punish. Yeah, for making me print the wrong tool head board mounts, I'm punishing you all by watching me sort screws. Hey, I mean, you guys are all here. Oh, that's a 14. No, that's 12. 12. 12. 8. 10. So everyone got all their Christmas shopping done. I have to grab some cards for my parents, but other than that, I am done. Hopefully. Hopefully. On the bright side, this is filling up a lot of... Wow, these ones are all messed up. This is filling up a lot of inventory that I thought I ran out of. 8s. 12s. 12s. Yeah, I was like... I had like no 16s at the start of this. Same with 10s. So it's nice that we're refilling some stock I was missing out on. You haven't started shopping? Oh shit, hurry up. You generally have black oxide bolts. Some kids have gone and then not. I like the black oxide because, simple reason, they're magnetic. I like magnetic screws for my printer builds. Luckily, most printer stuff isn't magnetic, so you don't have to worry about like the screws sticking to the frame or anything like that. But it makes it a lot easier to hold the screws and handle the screws when they're magnetic, I find. So I prefer magnetic screws over the non-magnetic ones. Screwdriver. It's not a screwdriver, it's a magnet. My lttstore.com magnet that also can double as a screwdriver, but it's a magnet. 4. Let's get 4. Doot, 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 doot. Also, because it is actually pretty dang cold out here, we're probably doing a shorter stream today, so we'll probably be ending around 4 o'clock. So, I had to do some running around tonight, take care of some stuff. So, early dinner. What do? Oh, I use them. When I build a kit, I use what comes with the kit. That's like been my go-to since I started. If a kit shows up, I use what comes in the kit. Very rarely do I use what doesn't. If I don't use what's in the kit, it's for usually a pretty good reason. So it's like, oh, it came with this extruder. I don't like that extruder. Or I swapped out electronics a few times. But usually I use what comes with the kit. I prefer black oxide screws. They are magnetic. They go with more stuff. Sometimes the silver screws stand out. I'm not a huge fan of that. So it all comes down to what you want. What you really, really want. They'll tell you what you want, and you don't know what you want. Actually, you know what you want. I don't know what you want. What's a zigga-zigga? Always rust on you. What I would recommend if they always rust on you, you can spray them with some WD-40. Just take them, put them in like a bag, and just go with some WD-40, shake them up, wipe off the excess, and then they should not rust on you. Good black oxide screws should come with like a little bit of film on them. Like you can kind of see. Okay, so you can see in here, some of these are a bit shinier than others, because the shiny ones are the same screws as the really dark ones, but they have like a very, very light coating of like an oil on them. So yeah, your hands will get a little dirtier handling them, but the screws shouldn't rust. Unless you live in like a really humid place. If you live in a really humid place, then that sucks. Yeah, WD-40 is water displacement formula 40. It is designed to prevent stuff from rusting. It is not a lubricant. It is a rust preventative. Some people think WD-40 is a lubricant. It's not. It can be like, I believe it can be kind of used as a solvent in some cases, depending on what you're using it on. For like cleaning up grime, but it is a rust preventative. It was designed for rockets. Yeah, I think it was it the Atlas missile? I'm pulling it up right here. Yeah. Suggesting it was the result of 40th attempt to create it. The spray composed of various hydrocarbons was designed to be used by Convair to protect the outer skin of the Atlas missile from rust and corrosion, because the Atlas missile was steel, or like a very thin sheet steel. So they needed something to prevent it from rusting. And WD-40 to the rescue. So what Bamboo recommends for the A1 Y-axis, which are metal view wheels. It's not a lubricant. Like, it's not a lubricant. Why would they recommend WD-40 for a lubricant? Not. What record would you recommend for a print farm? Currently have an X1C, 2 Centauri carbons, 480, and an SUO Max currently print with Pentry. Okay, Leak, to you. Are you looking to expand the farm or just go to one printer? If you're looking to just stick with one printer, out of the printers you have, which one are working the best? Like, I don't. Like, what kind of print farm is it? Are you doing? Do you need something big enough to print helmets? Are you like? Can you just go with a cheap fleet of Centauri carbons and just run them till they die? Are you looking for less machines that are more reliable? Like, it kind of depends. I know the 85s and the Centauri carbons are relatively cheap, so you can get a lot of printers for relatively low price if you go that route. They are recommending WD-40. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's WD-40 white lithium grease, which I use. That stuff's good. And 310s. Button heads. Oh well. David's here. Hi, David. How's things over in the land of printed solid? Everyone say hi, David. Everything y'all ready for the holidays? Are you guys doing anything for the holidays? What are these? Little carbon fiber pegs. Everything's solid. How many times do you use that as the answer when people ask how things are? I'm 2 hex nut. Okay, won't be needing those. Inventory count. Oh God, end of year inventory. That sucks. That sucks. End of year inventory. Do you have to like count every single box, or are you just going by pallet? How many how many individual pellets of resin do you have? Roll for shrink, yeah. I wonder how much filament, like if you were to sweep up all the filament, like all the resin pellets that fall on the ground throughout the year, how much that would collect up to. And then you make a special end of year batch of filament with everything you've swept off the floor. Actually, that would probably destroy the machines. You'd have so much FOD in there. But that would be kind of funny to do an end of year mixed batch of all the leftover. Just everything left, just throw it in the machine. Whatever we get is what we get. Complete with dirt. Well, I mean, that's what, so fun fact, I'm assuming it's a thing in the States too, but it's in here in Canada, we have what's called native smokes. So you go to like a native reserve and you buy cigarettes, and they're dirt cheap compared to like the cigarettes you would buy anywhere else, right? The thing is, people they're like, oh yeah, they're just the natives make. No, they don't. They're Chinese smokes. And it's like the Fifth Estate, which is a CBC their CBC News, their investigatory branch. It's called Fifth Estate. They did a thing a couple years back where they did like a whole investigation on all those the native smokes, and they're like, the amount of bugs, glass, and like stuff you find in there, because they just sweep it up off the floor. Like anything that falls on the floor, they just sweep it up and throw it back in the line. And it's like, oh man, it's a good thing I don't smoke that. Every box, pallet, nozzles, yep. $40, $35. I have a whole drawer of just 35s. I don't even know why. What on the Voron uses M335s? Why do I have so many M335s? Grandma lives on those smokes. The only time I ever smoked them was when I ran out at work and I'd bum a smoke off one of the old guys, and that's what they smoke. And it's like, all I got are the native ones, and I'm like, do I want to smoke that badly today? Okay. So now we got to do M5s. I think that's it for... I have like a bucket of this, but I'm not going to bother with that. So now... do I have a little... 2.5, so the M2.5 can live in that. That's fine there. I'm looking to see if I have any mix here. Yeah, break that down. Can't remember. We used them in something. There was something that we used M335s on it. I can't remember what it was. Oh, you know what? It was the V0. I think it was like, I don't know if it's the current V0, but it was like original version of the V0 used them. That's what it was. So I had a whole bunch of them, and then I never used them since then. 25. These are 20s. Sixteens. 12. 8. And the little guys. And then the rest is M3 nuts. Okay. Do I have some over here that I can go through? What do we got here? What do we got here? These are M2s, M4s. Okay, so that's enough of that inventory. Okay. Speculate for me. How long before there's a Core 1L index? Oh, probably not too long. It's probably not too long. Like, considering how similar the Core 1 and the Core 1L are, it's probably like, it will not be a long time between the two. Okay, so M3 washers. That goes there, because now we're on to the M5s. 8s, 12, 16, 14, 20, 25. There we go. Nuts out for now. There we go. Couple in the trying to, yeah. thinking of a Core 1 or building a Voron. So here's the difference between the two, and it's quite simple. Do you want to build your printer or buy your printer? If you want to build your printer, get a Voron. If you want to buy your printer, get a Prusa. If you want to build a printer and not do anything to it after you build it, get a Prusa. You want to build a printer and be able to upgrade it quite easily down the line, get a Voron. It's tomato, potato. Tomato, potato. I'll put some glue in here so these stay. Yeah, they're pretty easy to upgrade, but I mean, like, they're still not as upgradable as a Voron. Like, the fact that, like, you could have built a V2.4 in 2020, because the V2.4 is like a 5-year-old design now. You could have built a V2.4 in 2020, and then taken that exact same machine, put a box turtle on it, turned it into an IDEX machine, and made it an index machine. Like, it's so, Vorons are just so open to being modified. You're an M3. Why do I have M3s in here? Why are M3s in here? Do I not know how to count? Yeah, these screws are a little all over the place. Where are these guys? 25. And you guys are 25. Oh, they're all 25. Oh, that's why, because I probably grabbed. I had to throw them an M325 and then throw an M525. That makes sense. 30. 30, 30, 30, 30. And these are 25s. Okay. M510. USB is very easy to set up. Yeah, CAN bus is nice, but USB is nicer. CAN bus has advantages on larger printers. CAN bus is where larger printers start to make more sense. Or larger printers is where CAN bus starts to make more sense. So these are 10s or 12s. These are like M514s. Shoot, of course I don't have a size for M514s. Okay, well, oddball size M5s. None. What I missed? Not much. We're doing a screw sorting stream because I needed to do a screw sorting stream. Why CAN bus? CAN bus is more reliable at longer distances. USB starts to get a little flaky after it's about 2.5 meters. So for example, oh, don't have the camera on. The Venture XL, I am using a USB tool head board. I'm using the EBB 36 Gen 2. It has a 2.5 meter cable on it, and it is literally as long as they can go. They can't go any longer, and it would be rated to work. Okay, they've did a bunch of testing on the USB interface in temperature and whatnot, and basically once you get beyond about 2.5 meters of USB cable on a tool head board for a 3D printer, it starts to get, I'm not saying it stops working, it's just the chance of a timing error with clipper starts to rise, okay? It's not a yes or no thing. Like, oh yeah, could you get by with a 3-meter cable? Probably. But you might get that odd timing error, like lost connection error or something. Like it's CAN bus is just more reliable at longer term. So CAN bus is more reliable. And you can daisy chain CAN bus. That's right, you can daisy chain CAN bus. Look how cold that printer is. Just a little chilly. M522. I don't have M522. Okay, you can live with the M525s, I guess. Why not use USB 2? What do you mean USB 2? Like, it is USB 2.0 standard or whatever. Under purchase some twisted pair of cables, gonna no trouble with it. Don't cheap out on the cable. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too, especially when you go longer distances, you don't want to cheap out on those cables. Like twisted, shielded, all that. Like it could be worse. We could be using shoot, what are the temperature sensors? We used them in molds for Kistler sensors. There is sensors for temperature that are extremely accurate and extremely reliable, but you have to deal with the fact that if you change the length of the cable, you have to like recalibrate it. And like if you accidentally cut the cable and resolder it, you get a different value because it's based off resistance and it's so sensitive, like the resistance of the cable can affect it. I've built molds using those sensors. The brand that we used was Kistler. And the amount of times you'd be building the mold and like somebody screwed up, sometimes me, sometimes other people, and the cable would get snapped or stretched or break. And then it's like, shit. K-type, oh yeah, it might be K-type thermocouple. That's what it is. I knew it was a thermocouple of some kind, I just didn't know which one. But yeah, it's like, great, we got to take the whole entire mold apart to rerun this wire. And then it's like, sometimes you'd be like, you know, you go to pull a lifter out for maintenance and it's like, oh, just take the one lifter out, and you go to take it out, but nobody told you that there's a K-type thermocouple in there, and the wire goes all the way through the foot and it comes out on the bottom, and you have to go underneath and unscrew this connector before you take the lifter out, and nobody told you that. So you just went underneath and undid the 2 screws that hold the lifter in place, and you just pull the lifter out with the crane, and then as you pull it out, you see this wire dangle in there that's all broken, and you're like, fuck. Because now this 5-minute job of just take the lifter out is now disassemble the entire tool so you can rerun that wire. Yeah, those are fun days. Those are fun days. Westside Fire gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers and appreciated. And then when that happens on the day that the mold is shipping to the customer, and you just say YOLO and you just solder it back together, wrap it with electrical tape, and, you know, pray to whatever God you believe in and hope for the best and send it. And you hope you don't have a PM look hunting you down in a couple of weeks going, hey, so the mold went to the customer and this ain't working. And you just hope that doesn't happen. Because when it does happen, you're getting on a plane and going to fix it. Which sounds fun until it's like, no, you're going to like somewhere in Kentucky. Or somewhere in like southern states. Blame the shipping company. You would be surprised how often we did that. You would be, well, actually, you're probably not surprised how often we blame the shipping company for shit like that. Because once you pull and honestly, half the time it was the shipping company. Because when we ship molds, you'd have to like take a million pictures of it while you're putting it on the truck. And unfortunately, you know, it is what it is. By the time I left the trade, shipping stuff became such a gong show that we would record videos of like the truckers loading it. Because the rule of thumb is once it's on the truck, it's their problem, right? Once the mold's on the truck, like I would pick up the mold because I was the afternoon shift supervisor. I would pick the mold up, put it on their truck. I would put it where they told me to put it. And then once it's on the truck and I take the chains off, it is their responsibility. And when I started in the trade, it worked pretty good because we would have these, you know, companies that we would deal with regularly. So it always the same guys, the same company, the same trucks. They knew what they were doing. They were great people to work with. And then, you know, the company got bought out by, you know, private equity. And then it's like, instead of like the regular guys who knew what they were doing that would show up, you would have contract shipping show up who had never seen a mold before. I think some of them hadn't seen a truck before. And it'd be like, where do you want this? On the back? Okay, but where on the back? This thing weighs 48,000 pounds. Where do you want your center of gravity to be? Where do you want your weight distribution? Where do you want it? About here. And then you would spend the next half hour, put it on. They would get in their truck. They would turn it on. They would let the airbags go. And they were like, oh shoot, we got to move it this way. And then you hook it back up and it got really annoying. And then once you get it, it's like, okay, chain it down. And they're like, how many chains do I need? It's 48,000 pounds. Well, how many chains? It's 48,000 pounds. You should know how many chains you need for the weight. Rule of thumb is one chain per 10,000 pounds plus an extra. But it's like, and then watching them chain it down, it's like, okay, you can't put a chain on that. That'll break. You can't chain that. You can't like, and it's like, there's a reason the hair loss exists. Just having to deal with that every night. We went from like, put it on and I could walk away. I'd put the mold on the truck, be like, okay, I'll be back in 20 minutes to take pictures once you got it chained down. He's like, I'll have it done in 15. I'm like, sweet, I'll be back in 15 to take pictures. To like, put it on the truck and me sit there with a freaking camera recording everything they do because they effed up stuff so much. And stuff like got damaged. We'd had a truck show up in Mexico where they're like, hey, now to be fair, trucking company only ships it to Texas. Then they take it off the truck in Texas, they put it on another truck that carries it into Mexico because American drivers don't want to drive their truck into Mexico, and I don't blame them. We had a truck show up at the plant in Mexico, and they're like, we're here to deliver the mold. And then they opened up the cover, and they're like, where is the mold? Because the mold was put on their vehicle in Texas, crossed the border into Mexico. It was on their truck. And then some point between crossing the border in Mexico and arriving at the plant in Mexico, the mold disappeared. They didn't stop. The owner of the company rented a helicopter and followed the drive route that he took. They found it down a ravine. But he was wondering why there was a hole in his tonneau cover. Yeah. So that's the kind of shit I had to deal with working at the mold shop. Yeah, mold rolled down a ravine. He took a corner too sharp and it just down the ravine. Yeah. Whoop. Yeah. Whoop. Oopsie doodles. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna go adjust something on the big guy because I'm playing around with it right now and I'm trying to figure out how to get it to we're sorting out some print quality issues, and I'm thinking if I loosen the belts, that might help. So I'm gonna go loosen the belt on it, run a quick input shaper, and then we'll move on with our life. Oh wow, it is chilly in here. 1, 2. 1, 2. I should probably heat up this printer before I run an input shaper test. Right? Should probably heat up the printer. Because I wonder, you know what? Who wants to do some science? Let's do some science. Okay. We're going to run an input shaper calibrate. Okay. On the big guy here. we're gonna run it cold, and then I'm gonna heat the printer up for like half an hour, 100-degree bed. I'm just gonna let the printer get toasty, and then I'm gonna run it again. And I wanna see if the heat impacts the input shaper value. So we're gonna do some science. So it's homed, QGL'd, axis shaper calibration. Is that the right one? Yeah. Okay. So this is running it at wonderful 12 degrees Celsius. By the way, the Prusa's have been great in this weather. It's been chilly, but the Prusa's have been great in this weather. They've had no complaints for the coldness. The only issue I've had is one, parts come off the bed really nice. Just let them cool down and they slide right off the bed. But two, the Core 1L is fine. It's the Core 1s. Because when I tell them to print ABS, they want to get up to a chamber temperature of like 50. And they get to like just barely there when it's like 5 in the garage. And they're like, we can't get there. Do you want us to proceed? I'm like, yeah, you're good. And it's good. But the Core 1L actually heats up. It sits at like 53, 54, 55. When it's like 5 degrees Celsius in the garage, that thing's sitting in the mid 50s printing ABS. So, and that's without any insulation. So that's pretty good, I think. Slightly because of the shift. That's what I'm wondering, is as it heats up, if it expands. Because I do have to preheat. I do have to preheat the Venture XL before I print ABS or anything in the winter. Because the frame actually expands so much now that the printer is actually enclosed. The frame actually expands so much from like cold temperature to like when the printer chamber is like in the 40s that the Z just goes up. Like once it starts printing, you can see the Z just like keep getting higher and higher as it prints that first layer. And by the time it gets to the second layer, it's right off. It's like, it literally grows. Like, I wish I had something that I could put an indicator on it to see how. I'm going to go put an indicator on it. Okay. Because I have a metal bench here that I can lock this onto. Okay, so that now I need something metal. Dang it, you won't stick because I have that stupid thing there, right? There we go. Okay, so we got that. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but I'm trying to set up my indicator here so that you can see how much this frame expands under temperature. Shoot, that doesn't go far enough. Really? Oh wait, I can move that. 1 second. Can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so we'll flip you over. I have a blanket over the printer too, just for extra heat. Okay, so let's see. So let's bring you down. A little bit more. There we go. Okay. Zero that. Okay. So I have an indicator zeroed on the top of the printer. So what I will do, once it's done this input shaping, I'm going to heat up all the beds to 100. I'm going to put the hot end at the middle of the print volume, turn the fan on, let it circulate some air, and we will see how big the frame grows. A V2, a 250 V2 will grow, I'm trying to remember, I did it before on a V2. A V2 will grow a couple thou. I'm wondering how big the Venture XL will grow. So, 2 granites. I have the indicator mounted to this. Because the printer's on the other side of the shelf, so I just have the indicator onto the shelf. So. So we'll see. We'll see how it fares. Where it is. Ooh, it is chilly. Why do I have a notification there? Engage with my audience. Members only live stream. Oh. It is windy out there today. It is windy out there today. Okay, input shaper graphs are created. So shake tune results. Input shaper. What's today? The 19th. So X. Machine. Wait, machine. Make sure I got the right one. Yeah, Y. Open. All right. Where are they? Oh, they just downloads them. So X MZV84. What do I have right now? Printer. MZV. O. And then Y. EI 53 on Y. Restart. I've been having, I can't get a good Y on this machine. Okay, so home all. So we will go 100, 100, 100, 100. And G1Z 300. And then we will turn the fan to max. Got my LDO supply. Wow, is it tiny? It is so small. I love this thing. It is such a... We're going to be putting this in the printer that we're rebuilding as a tool changer. I do need to get a 48 volt power supply still, because I want to run 48 volt for the motors, because it has a Kraken in it, so I can easily do that. So I want to run 48 volts for the motor so we can do fast ed. And then we still need 24 though for everything else. So I'm going to be swapping the 24 to this guy. So, but like, look at that thing. That's 275 watts of 24 volt and 25 watts of 5 volt. So let me, here, I'll show you the setup I have right here. Is it the most scientifically accurate? No. It's already grown half a thou. It's already grown half a thou. Yeah, so as you can see here, there's the printer. I have a blanket over it as well, because why not? Just easy extra installation. So I have it clamped to the shelf. And then the shelf, I have the indicator on the top of the frame there. Now, to be fair, my garage is actively heating up, so technically the shelf itself is also expanding. This is not a perfect, closed test environment. This is obviously, there are going to be variables at play here. The printer itself will radiate heat that will hit the shelf. The shelf will slightly heat up and slightly expand. So it's not a perfect controlled environment by any means, but at least it should give us kind of a data point. It'll give us a data point. So. Okay. So we're done sorting the screws. We're done that. I think we're going to call it there because I got to do some stuff tonight for the holidays. So I think we're going to call it there. Who wants to win some polymaker filament? Put a 1 in chat if you want to win some polymaker filament. I'll give you 3 minutes to enter. We're going to do the draw at 4:05. We'll do the draw at 4:05 for the polymaker filament. While you're down there, don't forget to like the smash button, ring the bell, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and hey, check out the links. Polymaker actually has a 35% off sale right now. So if you want to get some polymaker filament, because, well, I blew a breaker. That's on the same circuit. Okay. 1 second, please. I blew a breaker. Okay, so. Oh, here's more screws I should have sorted. Forgot about these guys. So, fun fact. Trying to heat up a massive printer while running a heater in the room, probably not a good idea. Yep. There we go. There we go. Okay. Break up panel a long way. Yep. Okay, turn that off because we're ending the stream anyways. Okay, so note to self. This printer is on the same circuit that I'm using to heat the garage, so note to self. So that is on that. So that means this one up here is probably the different one. Yeah, that one's probably the different one. So I can probably plug you in here. So let's unplug you and plug you in. I mean, I could plug it into the, you know what? I'm going to plug this into the 15 amp circuit because this circuit is independent. Yeah, I got no printers plugged into the 15 amp circuit. The 15, I've got 3 circuits in my garage. I got 2 20 amp circuits and a 15 amp circuit. The 15 amp circuit is original with the garage, and then the 220 amps are I've added. So everything is on the 220 amps. The original 15 amp, the only thing I actually have plugged into the original 15 amp circuit is my fridge. Like my fridge, the lights, like normal garage stuff is plugged into the 15 amp. So the 220 amp, so I'm gonna move that, I moved that heater, so now it's running on the 15 amp. So that way, if that pops, none of the printers go offline. My fridge turns off. Oh well. Okay. That's the first time we've popped one. Okay, let's do this giveaway. Let's do this giveaway. So we're back to heating back up. Who would have thought that running a 1500 watt room heater on the same circuit that you're running a 3D printer that has four 450 watt beds, all going at max power at the same time, would be a good thing to do? Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? Okay, let's do this giveaway. Link to sheet, create, publish, save. Okay. I thought I lost stream for a second because this computer is on the other circuit. So this computer is on the same circuit as those printers. Okay. Continue. Race. Add our names. Clear. Open. 248. Random bots. Go. Retail computer sales. Back in the day, we had 4 different customers come and buy all the computers, printers, surge protector we sold. They had a transformer blow, and when the contractor for the electrical company replaced it, they hooked it up backwards. Destroyed everything in 4 houses. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so how this works is if you win, you get a spool of filament from Polymaker. But if I pick your ball and you also happen to win, you get a free hat too. So this one right here is looking very lonely. So we're gonna go with a different one. This one right here, who is this? Who are you? Who are you to think you can sit in front of everyone else? Who is this ball? Well, Dan Saab, since you think you can be in the lead, you can skirt the start line. It's all on you now. Good luck. Fission versus fusion. Both things that we're not getting any closer to. Whatever one we get to first, we'll go with. Oh no, am I stuck in here? Uh-oh. Okay, good, I got out. Captain Kirk is in the lead. Giving her all she's got, Captain. Look at everyone falling. You know you don't win by falling. Nile Red guest experience. Nile Red seems like a pretty chill dude. Who here watched I know there's a little bit of overlap, but not much. Oh. Sneaky. Anyone watch the Pay Money Wubby 24-hour stream? It was like a 24-hour stream of tag where they had like a bunch of people in a gym, and like every now and then like some demons would come out and attack them, and they had to do like random challenges if they lost and punishments. They had William Osmond on it. Oh, Wolf Pup with the big skip. And William Osmond like halfway through started making a water heater out of like random scrap and stuff they got from broken toys. And he was boiling water because he made like a DIY water heater using a hot dog as a resistor. Wolf Pup, you made the snipe, but you allowed Captain Kirk to catch back up. What the heck? All of these rocks are punishing. Oh, Wolf Pup's back in the lead, but got no momentum. Oh, shoot. It's gonna be Wolf Pup versus Sweet Acid. Come on, Wolf Pup. You got it? You got it? You got it! Wolf Pup! Congratulations, Wolf Pup. Let me find you here. Wolf Pup. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna call it there. Congratulations, Wolf Pup. You will get an email from me after the stream ends with information on how to collect your filament from Polymaker. There we go. I was working for a computer data processing, a drunk driver, hit a utility pole, knocked out, power blew lasers into our printer. Oof. Yeah, like nowadays with everything being online, like I'm assuming it was different back in the day, but now like everything is like hardened for power outages. Like it just seems like you kind of have to. Cause like this morning, Google was, or YouTube was down. Well, Google was having some DNS issues and like I couldn't make a stream. The reason the stream was so like late today getting set up, I normally like to set it up at least 2 hours in advance, and I only had it set up like an hour and a half before, was because I literally couldn't get the create new thing on YouTube to load. Like YouTube Studio was down, create new video was down. I couldn't create a stream. Like YouTube just DNS errored 500. And I was like, what the heck? Okay. So we are going to call it there. There'll be a stream tomorrow night. We'll probably do some faffing around with the big printer, maybe the Astromech and whatnot. We also got to start printing the rest of the stuff for the tool changer build. So now we have the tool heads built. We've got all the tool heads built. Now we have to print the stuff to do the printer modification to make the printer work as a tool changer. So that will be the plan on tomorrow. Hopefully I remember to turn the heater on in advance. And yeah, so we'll give a shout out to Polymaker for the spool of filament we'll give away this stream and every stream. Links for them in the video description and more. Some of them like Gamer Subs, use code Canuck, save some money. Polymaker does have a big sale on right now, 35% off. So if you want to stock up on filament and help support the channel at the same time, check them out with the affiliate link below as well. And for those that donate to the channel, give to memberships to others, or became members of the channel yourself, I thank you for not being able to do the things I do, create the content I create. Without your continued support, you make it all possible. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. Wash your hands. Hopefully you got all your Christmas shopping done. And I will see you in the future. Good night.